But like trying to get a little warmed up first, so we just kind of like hang out, chat for a second.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, goodness. Yep, fuck Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Mike with Become the Night. Welcome back to another Become the Night SNOBCAST. I am joined today by the most amazing Michael Aurand of the band The Blind Tigers. So Mike, go ahead and say hi to the people.
Hello everyone, I'm Mike from Blind Tigers. This is Mike and Mike.
Mike and Mike.
We're Mike and Mike. We're going to start a law firm.
Mike and Mike in the evening to counterbalance the Mike and Mike in the morning.
Yeah, God.
On ESPN.
Could be one of those cheeseball radio hosts.
Dude, we totally could.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both quirky enough. We could probably make that work.
I used to work radio for a little while, so.
Oh no shit, where at?
In Cleveland, Tennessee. I was at Cleveland State Community College, and I had a soundboard operator job, and I never really did on the air stuff, but I did the consoles, and I helped syndicate the sporting events that went on. Like we syndicated Braves baseball and UT football and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
So
very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. Well, you guys are a local Nashville band, and I don't know, how long you guys been together?
So Blind Tigers themselves formed in 2014, January 2014, and at that time we had a different lineup. We were a four-piece then. It was myself and Rory, who's the bassist and other songwriter and singer in the band, and we had conceptualized.
You guys do wear a lot of hats. I'm not gonna lie.
We do wear a lot. We do. We're multi-talented. Yeah. So Rory and I knew each other in college, and he and I used to do writers' rounds together, where we would, if one of us got a writers' round, we'd call the other one up and say, "Hey, I got this writers' round. You want to be in on this?" And so we used to sort of have each other's backs and play writers' rounds together, and then eventually he would start playing guitar on my songs, and I'd start playing guitar and singing backup on his songs, and then we started playing shows as Michael Aurand and Rory T. Miller as sort of like a Simon and Garfunkel kind of acoustic folk thing, and then we said, wouldn't it be cool if we had a band? And so eventually we made some calls, got some friends, and
then we became the Michael Aurand Band.
We became, yeah, totally, no, we became Blind Tigers, and that our first official jam session.
Okay, so where did the name come from?
Okay, so I actually remember the moment that Rory brought in the phrase Blind Tigers. So it was at my studio apartment in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We both went to MTSU, and he was in a Tennessee history class, and he said we were sitting there working on songs, playing guitar, and he said, "Oh, I figured out what my token indie band name is." And he said Blind Tiger. And I was like, okay, Blind Tiger. And a blind tiger, for those that don't know, was a slang term or an FBI code word for a speakeasy during the Prohibition era, operating in a shack or a barn somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So there were these FBI memos that would be released that would say, "Be on the lookout for blind tigers," And so I took it.
I'm picturing the actual Family Guy interpretation of this.
Yeah.
Guys going around like 1920s New York City or Chicago with literal blind tigers just roaming the streets.
Hey, what's going on in here?
I never get my capa, and then he runs like straight into a brick wall or some shit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I took Blind Tiger, and I said, well, how about what if we did Blind Tigers? Plural, to sort of. It seems like indie band name trends kind of come and go, but pluralized band names have been around forever. So, that way we don't sound so dated, hopefully, anyway. So we became Blind Tigers, and so we went through some lineup changes as far as friends of ours coming in and out of the band, and we settled with Jansen, our drummer, Jansen Vanderspey, who's our drummer now, and he's been in the band since 2016. And so now we're a three-piece. And we're rocking and we are rolling.
You're both rocking
in that order
and rolling.
Yeah.
In that order.
I told you we wear many hats.
That is very true.
Yeah.
That is very true. So there was this other band that you guys played with for like a collab show, and you guys made the most epic band name ever.
Oh yeah.
What was the other band's name?
The other band's name was The Dangerous Method, and they are sort of our local indie band BFFs, I guess you could say. We met them at the Springwater Supper Club, for those that don't know. And we have been playing shows with them, oh God, since like, we met them before we even had a permanent band lineup, when we were just playing, me and Rory, just, you know, the two of us. And so we formed a collaborative band for what was going to be a one-off show, and we called it Blind and Dangerous.
I fucking love that name. I love that name so much.
Blind and Dangerous, yeah. So we joined as, you know, their band. They're a three-piece as well. We're a three-piece, and we became, I think we only had one drummer. One of them set out, yeah. And we became Blind and Dangerous.
Dude, if you guys had two drummers, that would be so dope. Not gonna lie. That would take a lot to make it tasty.
Yeah.
and non-redundant.
Yeah. Man.
But so I've listened to, I mean, first of all, I went and saw you guys live. Yeah. At the end.
At the end.
Oh, the end.
Good old the end.
The classic
it's
end.
In Nashville CBGB.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's probably, if we're lucky, that's where we'll play our first show.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way that our setup is right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw you guys at the end. Mike and I worked together at the same job. Different teams, different locations, but meeting Mike for the first time, or just seeing him on camera like this, you know, he seems like a very mild-mannered person. Might even mistake him for introverted.
Yeah.
And when I saw him on stage, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just the absolute joy of this man playing his guitar is awesome. Like, seeing your energy on stage, your presence, you're just fucking balls deep in it, man.
Thank you.
It is awesome.
Thank you, man.
A sight to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Marianne is, I would say, your guys' is like your pop hit, if you will.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really pop.
Yeah.
But
it's our closest thing to it, yeah.
I recall specifically, unless it was a different song that I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the same one though. Like, was it the one that I really remember well from the show? At the end of the show is one of your new tracks at the time. There was like really heavy drum things.
Yeah, like almost tribal-ish in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a song called Prodigal Son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prodigal Son. So I had mixed those up.
Yeah. Well, that one is actually, we did sort of we called it a visual EP project, where we rented out 4 hours in a studio in East Nashville called the Bomb Shelter, and we just set up instruments and we just played. We just played together for 4 hours, and we had a friend of ours. Well, it was Joe actually from the Dangerous Method. Came with a camera and filmed us performing together, and basically filmed us recording the EP. And Prodigal Son is one of those tracks. So there's a live in studio recording of that song on our Bandcamp page, and there's a video of us recording that track on YouTube, if you're interested. So Prodigal Son is the name of that song. Yeah.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Sorry, getting back to Marianne.
Yes.
Got off track there. I really did dig Marianne. Obviously, I mean, you guys are gonna find out real quick that Mike and I come from two quite different schools of music.
Yeah, it's true.
for sure.
Yeah.
But the Marianne had kind of like that, a little bit of a Celtic feel, definitely a little folkier. Absolutely rock and roll though. Like definitely rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. And so Marianne actually, it's interesting. It's one of the oldest songs that I still play to this day, because I've been writing songs since I was, I guess 15, since I was 15 years old. But pretty much everything I wrote from when I was 15 to when I was about 19 or 20, has been chucked in the garbage. Because it's just awful for the most part. But Marianne is an exception. Marianne was written in 2010, and I think I was actually still 20. I think I was 20, going on 21, because I'm 28 now. And I wrote it thinking it would be a good bluegrass song, on acoustic guitar, thinking that it would be a cool bluegrass song. And I thought I was just going to be a songwriter. And so when we were jamming the first incarnation of Blind Tigers, I brought in this old song, and And I had recorded a full band version of it with a band that I was in Cleveland, Tennessee called the Early Birds. But I decided I wanted to resurrect it with Blind Tigers. And so the guys in the band really liked it. And we took it into the studio, and the producer at the time said, I think this song needs to be up-tempo. I think this song needs to be much more up-tempo. Mm-hmm. And I was sort of like, I don't know, because it kind of had sort of a foot-stomping vibe to it, like sort of like that. And he said, no, I think it needs to sound like Rise Against or the Gaslight Anthem or something like that. I think it needs to be like... And I was, we stripped away all acoustic elements whatsoever, and we just had electric guitar all the way. And in retrospect, I really think that was the right decision, because it's definitely a high energy song, and
very much so,
And
actually, like, especially your vocal delivery and kind of like the quickness of it provides a little bit of a combination of angst and like anxiety, almost.
Yeah, urgency.
Yeah, urgency, definitely. I'm not gonna spoil what the song's about. Go fucking listen to it yourselves. There will be links down there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and I think that actually communicates really well with the message as well.
Oh, cool, man. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was the idea. Yeah.
And then we also have your other pop hit.
Yeah.
Demolition Blues.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say is probably my personal favorite.
Nice.
That song's killer, man.
Thank you, man.
Also kind of hits home a little bit too, because we live in Nashville, and I feel like that song definitely speaks to this town.
Resonates.
Big time. Yeah, very much so. Demolition Blues. Actually, I'll let you discuss what Demolition Blues is about.
Yeah. So Demolition Blues. So I like to travel. I love to see cities. I love to explore cities, and some of the coolest places I've seen. I've been to Dublin, Ireland. I've been to San Francisco. I've been to New York City. I've been fortunate enough to go to a lot of places, and of course I live in Nashville. And what these places largely have in common is that there is gentrification. And so what I would often say when we would perform Demolition Blues, in fact, you might remember me saying it at the end, is this is not a protest song, this is Demolition Blues. And it's obviously, clearly, for those who've heard it and for those who listen to it later, hopefully, it is not a blues song. It is not a blues song by any means. It's a very straightforward, four-on-the-floor rock song. The reason I say it's not a protest song is because, from the sort of indie DIY punk aesthetic thing that I often try to channel and that spoke to me at a young age, protest songs are intended to sort of invigorate a sense of change and whatnot. Whereas blues, at least to me, my interpretation of it in sort of the more, abstract sense, is blues is lamenting the cold hard reality of how things are, rather than trying to invoke change. It's more about, this is the hardship of life. This is inevitable, and
this is the artist trying to accept it.
Yeah, and this is just, it's a lament. So, this song, it's intended to sort of paint a picture of, there's this protest taking place with picket signs and chanting voices and people coming together and rallying behind, don't tear down this historic building, don't eliminate the character of this beautiful city we have. It's our city and we have a say in it. And at the end of the day, we get to the bridge, it's a condo now. Like, it just is, It's just
I'm gonna get one of those bumper stickers, by the way.
I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up with one of those. But it is, it's not saying even necessarily that gentrification is bad or good, just that it's inevitable. And, it's not going to stop. So long as you live in a city where lots of people want to live, there's going to be a demand to live here. And when there's a demand to live here, people move here. And when people move here, you can't tell them they can't move here. They have to live somewhere. And so it's the way things are. And
value gets driven up.
Yeah. And so that's Demolition Blues for me. And that's, and it's always killer to play live too. It's a lot of fun to play live. It's a very punch you in the face kind of song.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It has a fantastic hook. Mm-hmm. Really, really good. I mean, it's still stuck in my head.
Thank you. Yeah.
The solution's not evolution. Oh, sorry. I won't ruin it for the people.
No. That was recorded at the bomb shelter too, actually. So, yeah. So really neat place. Recorded on analog too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was recorded on analog, the three of us playing together in a room. So the core of the track is me, Roy, and Jansen all playing together. And then we overdubbed an additional guitar part during the chorus, and Rory overdubbed his backing vocals during the chorus. But other than that, it's all live. So,
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, I love that song. That is a lot of fun. But as far as the gentrification aspect goes, I feel like part of the thing is saying like that you don't know if this is the solution or not or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be a better way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure what that is. I just feel like we're so used to falling into the same old cycle of like this naturally progresses to this, progresses to this, progresses to this.
Yeah.
If we would just stop and think about it for a second, we could probably come up with a solution. Especially, I'm a believer that if there's a problem to be solved, there's an entrepreneur who will go try and find a way to solve it. And I don't think there's been enough of an outcry that this is an actual problem. And especially like you don't realize it's hit your city until it's there, and then it's too late. So like other cities that it's happening to, it's going to start happening to Birmingham. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Other cities, possibly even Athens. Athens, Georgia.
Oh, definitely Athens. Absolutely. And Athens is a really cool city too.
It's a really cool place.
Athens is awesome. And you know, I visited Athens. I go there quite a bit. You know, often at least once a year. And when I'm there, I look around and I think, I could live here. Like this is cool. You know, this is a really neat place. And yeah, you know, it's accessible to Atlanta, but it's not Atlanta. It's not in Atlanta.
Thank God.
You know, I know. Yeah. It is a cool place for sure, and I agree. I think that will happen, and you know,
and like that's the whole key is in order to really be able to solve this problem, you have to head it off before it's established.
Yeah,
because once you have those establishments there taking over what was like what we'd consider old historic spots, or even then, you know, once you have those places there and you have everyone flocking there because it's the new place to live and drive up the cost of living, it's already too late.
Well, and I think part of it is part of what drives it, I would imagine, is that you know, there's this shift in sort of the cultural paradigm that contributes to, I think, a lot of division, you know, generational division, which is in and of itself political division and whatnot, where people, especially young people, want to live among other people who think largely the same way they do, you know. And so,
that's why I moved here, because this is fucking Music City.
I'm like that. I'm an example of that. I'm from Cleveland, Tennessee. You know, I'm from a small town it's called the Buckle on the Bible Belt. It's the Church of God capital of the world.
Buckle on the Bible Belt.
It is. That's what it's called, actually. Yeah. The Buckle on the Bible Belt. It's very, very much a conservative place. And if you're a teenager, a young musical teenager in Cleveland, Tennessee, chances are your thought is, I've got to get out of here. My creativity cannot flourish in this place. And that was my mindset when I was a teenager. You know, I visited Nashville for the first time when I was 16 years old. And that was in 2005. And it was, without question, I want to move here. I want to live in this place, you know, because there's music everywhere. And I immediately felt at home. And I made it sort of a mission of mine to move here, somehow, to move here, to live here. And I'm an example of that. I'm an example of a young person, you know, with a more progressive way of thinking, moving from a conservative town into a more progressive big city. And that is not unique to me. That's not by any means, not. You know, I am not the only person who's doing that. I think it's happening a ton. It's happening a lot, and it's contributing not just to gentrification, but a certain sort of, you know,
hipsterification.
Yeah.
Oh God, is there ever?
There's that, yeah. But like, you know, a division, you know, where people don't live amongst each other anymore. They sort of isolate each other out. And by the way, the opposite of this is happening, where people who have lived in Nashville their whole life and maybe have a more moderate or conservative way of looking at things. Go like, I just don't feel at home here
They're getting
anymore.
the fuck out.
I don't feel at home in here anymore. I'm gonna move to somewhere, a smaller town. Or
so many what are they called? Natives. So many Nashville natives. There's so few of them left. I forget what their names are.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. At least I'm from Tennessee.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Pennsylvania.
Okay. Shame me in front of my
kidding.
audience. It's fine. No, freaking. Oh yeah, the natives. More and more natives move out every day. They're no longer the majority here. Yeah. We're talking about people who have like generations of families who have lived in Nashville, just piecing out.
Yeah, totally.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break here, guys, but we'll be right back with Mike Aurand of Blind Tigers. Stick around.
Used to just like during lunch he would take his shirt off for whatever reason, and he
was 18,
and he would sit there on the drum kit, and he was just like, take me as I am.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Become the Night SNOBCAST. Again, here with Mike Aurand from Blind Tigers.
Blind Tigers.
So we are sitting here sipping on some Tullamore Dew, a nice Irish whiskey. Mike, how would you describe this whiskey?
It's kind of malty. It's not terribly bitter or smoky, I would say.
I would say there's next to no bitterness.
Yeah.
And the smoky flavor is like just a hint.
Yeah, just a little bit sort of on the back end when you taste it. It's got a forward sweetness, but it's not overwhelming. I don't think it's I wouldn't call it a sweet sweet whiskey, rather. Excuse me.
My friend George said it tasted syrupy to him. I'm like, you're fucking crazy. You are nuts.
I don't think it's syrupy. I think it's delicious. It's very tasty.
Oh yeah, very clean.
Yeah, very very crisp. And I like. I mean, I'm a.
It's like the springs of Ireland.
Yeah. I'm a. I like to drink things that taste like a liquefied cigar box. For the most part. Cheers
to that.
Cheers to that, yeah. I mean, I like black coffee. I like real heavy tannic red wines. And I like scotch. And I've actually had, I'm not trying to humble brag here, but I've been to Glasgow. I've got friends who live in Glasgow. And they took me to this proper Scottish pub there. And he's like, do you want to, here, you want to try this? Take a sip of it. And he's like, just put a single ice cube in there. And I took a sip of it and I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever tasted.
Dude.
And so I love,
so jealous.
I have a soft spot in my heart for scotch. And you should go to Glasgow, by the way. Glasgow's a really cool city.
If any of my Scottish fans want to be super awesome and send me a bottle of actual scotch from Scotland, I would love you.
You better share that with me. So, I'm just saying.
Deal.
Yeah. So, no, I love Scotland. I love Scottish people. I love Scottish accents.
Scottish accents are hilarious.
Scotch, so.
Especially like the thicker they are, the more hilarious they are. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh. What kind of beer did you say you liked?
What kind of beer? I like beer that tastes like beer. You have
to be more specific. That's a different definition to a lot of people.
I have friends that drink just like straight up ciders and stuff like that. It's just not for me because that's actually the one thing I don't drink is ciders. Because I like beer, not apple juice. And so
also because I don't like hangovers.
Yeah, well.
Oh my God.
And but I like a good hearty IPA. I like a good but I'm not terribly picky with beer either. I like a good lager, a nice refreshing lager on a hot summer day. I mean,
like a classic German lager.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
those are
crisp and refreshing, and I find that my taste kind of varies with the seasons anyway.
How do you feel about dark beer?
I like dark beer. I drink dark beer a little more in the winter than.
Well, it's still technically winter, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I like dark beer.
I am going to serve you up, possibly my favorite beer. This is in contention for my favorite beer, definitely top 5. This is the Pennsylvania brewery Trogs, the Trog brothers, and this is their double bock called the Troganator.
Ooh, all right.
So we're gonna pop the top off here.
I'm excited for this,
dude. It is nice. And granted, it's not as cold as it was earlier.
What's the ABV on that?
I believe 8.2.
Oh,
8.2, yeah.
Nice.
This isn't supposed to be any kind of official glass or anything. This is just the smallest yet fanciest glass I can find.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely, my good man.
Oh, man.
I described this as basically like drinking a basket of nuts and berries.
God, that is a great description of it.
Dude.
It tastes like you melted and then froze and then de-thawed a granola bar. Mm-hmm. Like, you know.
It's a goddamn meal. And not only that, it's actually very tasty.
Nice.
There is like a bitter factor to it, but it's very much hidden behind this like wholesome, super malty, and there's like a hint of sweetness as it goes back down the throat.
God, I don't get that bitterness at all, but I definitely get that sort of malty, caramelly.
Oh yeah,
like punch in the face there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's good stuff.
This is a beer's beer.
This is from Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Can't get it down here, which sucks. But that's why anytime I go home to Pennsylvania or my folks come down, I'm like, can you bring some chips?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice.
I'll fucking pay for it. I don't care.
I dig this.
And I make that shit last. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured you would.
Yeah.
I figured you'd be like the one of my friends who would actually appreciate it.
I like it, man. I'm into it.
Everyone else who's come over and been like, I got this and I have whiskey. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
They're like, I'll try it. They'll drink one and they'll be like, I'm good.
I'm no fun I'm really no fun when my friends come over too, because they're like, I offer them a drink and they're like, what do you have? I said, well, I have coffee and I have tea and whatnot. Like, do you have cream and sugar? No, sorry, I don't.
I love you, Mike.
I love you too, Mike.
Oh my God, did we just become best friends?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, what kind of tea do you drink?
Any type of tea. I drink green tea a lot because it's healthy, but also I just like the taste of it.
My man,
there we go.
Fucking man.
We're gonna need another pour,
dude. I will preach until I die. Green tea.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I love green tea. I think green tea is awesome, and I drink it. I drink it straight. I don't put anything in it. Now I will say, if I'm feeling sick, like if I feel under the weather, I have this turmeric ginger tea with like organic honey in it. Oh, it's fantastic. It soothes your throat. You know, it feels. Opens my voice up a little bit, helps me speak again.
You're gonna have to share that with me. Where do you buy your tea, by the way?
Well, the turmeric ginger tea I actually buy online.
Okay.
But the green tea, like they can get it at, I get the Yogi brand tea, I get it at Kroger, and
on.
So, but the turmeric ginger tea we order online, and it's a Buddha brand tea. And
have you been to the High Garden?
No, I haven't actually. No.
High Garden's in East Nashville. Mm-hmm. It's this little tea house. Sorry, we're about to go on a little Nashville rant here, but it's like, oh my God,
wait a minute.
It's like where hipsters were born. It's like the womb from which hipsters sprung.
Is it like in that little walking village pavilion thing? What is it?
I'm not sure.
I think it sounds familiar.
Like,
I think I may have been here.
Like it's in a building.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that
helps narrow it down.
That narrows it down. I thought, yeah.
But no, I got this fire green tea. It was so good.
Oh, nice.
I didn't realize that shade grown was a thing that was specific until I bought this tea.
Yep.
But shade grown, and it's like the vein of the leaves that they use when they crumple them off and make matcha.
Yeah.
They saved those veins, and that's all it is the veins shade grown. And dude, it's like so light, but you have like that sea vegetable a little bit. And a natural sweetness.
It's that residual kind of earthiness from it.
Yes. But there's zero astringency in it. As long as you brew it correctly, which like very strictly, like this is a very fine, delicate tea, 90 seconds.
Yeah.
At like 175. So I've gotten good at that finally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That stuff is so tasty. And not only that, it gives you such a natural high.
Yeah. Yeah, good boost of energy, good for the immune system, good, just good all around.
Yeah, it improves your what's it called, metabolism.
Yeah,
big time. That's how I lost so much weight. Honestly, I keep seeing your guys' comments. Mike, you lost so much weight. You lost so much weight since your early videos. I'm just like, I guess I did. I mean, I'm fitting into smaller clothes, but I didn't really notice. I didn't even try.
Yeah.
All I did was drink shit tons of green tea and slightly modify my diet.
Yeah.
I eat just barely better than I did before. Like, that's it.
Also stressing yourself the fuck out too. Like,
Okay, yeah, there's that.
yeah.
Although, I guess you could technically say stress makes cortisol, which makes you fatter, but that's
Okay.
fuck all that shit.
All right.
Yeah, right. When you're fucking running around, when your heart's palpitating like mine 24 hours a day,
Yeah.
yeah, that'll cause you to lose some goddamn weight.
You got any more of that beer?
Oh, absolutely. Fuck, don't ask me twice.
Yeah.
So we got that out of the way. What kind of wine do you typically drink?
I'm also, again, I'm not picky on wine. I am a Frenchman after all. Michael Aurand.
Somehow manages to be French and Irish.
Yeah, I know. It's I have a mom and a dad, so
It's all right.
You know.
I'm part Polish and Lithuanian.
No, that's nice.
Because I
Okay.
also have a mom and a dad.
no wonder you like booze so much. I say that. I mean, I say that, but like, you know,
It's the fucking truth. I don't give a shit.
no.
I embrace it.
That's why I like whiskey and wine. No, I like, I like hearty tannic red wines, Cabernet Sauvignon, and
Absolutely.
and things like that. But the tricky part for me is I don't really eat red meat, for just like health reasons. But
yeah.
I love hearty red wines, which typically pair well with red meat. And so
They pair awesome with dark chocolate.
oh yeah, and I love dark chocolate all the way too. Well, dark chocolate is the only chocolate I'll eat actually. And so so I like I like red wine. I like Pinot Grigio and I like Chardonnay, and I don't know. I'm not terribly picky with wine either. There's these sour wines that I'm drawing a blank on that I'm just not crazy about. But
no. Sour wines or even sour beer. Oh, sour beers are the gross,
yeah,
dude.
it's like a liquefied Jolly Rancher or something.
Oh, they're horrible. Why would you ever do that to beer?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like my one friend who I haven't hung out with him as much because I've just been busy, but he will pretty much drink anything. Like anything that has alcohol, he'll put it down. Even if he doesn't like it, he'll like deal with it until it's done. I was working as a bartender at this one place, and it was a Sunday night, and like it's a mom and pop standalone, and they had a beer meetup there. So all these guys came in with all of their beers that they were trading around and sharing and just having a good time and like experiencing beer. Awesome idea, by the way. So by the end, they didn't all finish it and they didn't all want to take them home. So they were like, anyone want to take these home? Like talking to us, the waitstaff, I was like,
You kidding me?
I took all of it. I literally took all of it because no one else wanted it. I was like, done. And one of them was this sour beer. I brought him over to my friend's place I was just telling you about. Neither of us would finish that. We tried. Trust me, we tried. We did our American duty and tried to fucking finish that beer. No alcohol to waste. And we were just like, nope.
You tried to stay the course, but it didn't work out that way.
Not
It's
whatsoever.
sort of like it's like my experience. It's sort of like dissolving a Sour Patch Kid in a glass of salt water. Like it's just not. I'm not down. I'm not down with that.
Moving on. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you definitely like whiskeys.
Yeah.
You like your scotches. You like your bourbons.
Yes, sir.
Any other kind of liquors you get into?
So I don't really do mixed drinks all that much.
I'm over mixed drinks, right? The
Yeah.
most I'll go is like might settle for a Manhattan, even though I think it's too sweet.
Yeah.
Or like a gin and tonic. I can mess with every once in a while.
That's my fiance's drink of choice is a gin and tonic. She's definitely a gin and tonic girl. But also we did inherit. I will say we inherited this really old brandy from her grandfather, and it was really good. It was very tasty. And,
I imagine so.
Yeah, very. It had dust on the bottle, and it had been aging for a while, and it was.
Oh yeah.
It was the real deal. So I like brandy. I don't know, but because I don't do light spirits all that much. I don't really like vodka all that much, and I've never really been big into tequila. I think I just do whiskey, and I'm not picky with whiskey either. Like I love bourbon and I love scotch. Just I grew up in that environment.
You just reminded me of a story that I hadn't thought about in many years because it never really struck me until now. So Oh God! All right, this is embarrassing as hell, but it's also fucking hilarious.
I can't wait.
So, I was a freshman in college. I was 18, and I had a couple of I didn't smoke cigarettes, but we had like a little smoking area out in front of our suite style dorming, and we had a couple of grad students who lived there who smoked cigarettes. And we had a couple other people who would hang out there every once in a while. And it was in the formation of a square, so we called it the square. Also is Pittsburgh slang for a cigarette is a square. So it's kind of like a cute little thing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't until I got there. But either way, so I never smoked cigarettes at that time, but I was always out there playing my guitar. Because I love playing guitar, and I love doing it outside. And I love doing it in front of people. I mean, fuck it. I want to be like, I'm that guy. Yeah, I'm that douchebag. Fuck it. That's me.
Did you play Wonderwall?
Never. Never have I ever played Wonderwall. I can say that completely in full affirmation.
Champagne Supernova is a way better song anyway.
It's definitely not different. Anyway. So... So I met my friends out there, a couple of grad students, and they would always get us alcohol. And my one friend who was a grad student, complete douchebag, but in the most hilarious way possible. He was also a volunteer firefighter, and they went to this, like, the basement of this old firehouse, and they were just, like, cleaning out the basement. It hadn't been cleaned out in years. They found down there a ton of liquor, and he brought one for me, and he was like, dude, I got this bottle of whiskey from this old firehouse. You want it? I was like, yes.
Yes.
I was like, what is this? I'm not going to tell you what the name is right now. But he's like, oh, it's such and such. It's actually really good. And it's been aging down there for 25 years. So it's probably even better than it was before. I was God. Deal. All right. So I'm like, I'm gonna save this to have it with my brother. This will be special. We can enjoy this whiskey together because it's supposed to be really fine. So it's like a week and a half before I'm going home for one of our vacations. I call up my brother. I'm like, hey, you're going to be home, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, awesome. Dude, my friend just gave me this whiskey and we have to drink it together. He's like, oh, okay, what is it? It's like, oh, it's aging the bottom of this firehouse. It's called Bankers Club. I was like, my brother didn't say anything. He's like,
that's a sign.
He's like, oh, okay. No, I mean, he didn't say anything negative. He's like, oh, okay, nice. Yeah. Bring it over. Yeah, let's drink it together. I was like, all right, awesome. So me, in my infinite 18-year-old wisdom, finally my parents go to bed. My brother and his new fiance at the time, his now wife, are over, and they're sleeping over. And I'm like, okay, let's get the whiskey out. I'm super excited. I'm like all giddy because I get to drink whiskey with my brother. It's the first time ever. I fucking break out this bottle, and I pour them into plastic cups and pour Coke into them. Oh, God. It's like, yeah. I didn't tell him ahead of time.
Oh, no. Oh, jeez.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah.
Why?
Mike the music snob. Mike the music snob here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my gosh.
Man.
It was just, yeah. In hindsight, it's kind of an awesome story.
That is pretty funny. I gotta say, it sort of reminds. This is a much shorter story, and it doesn't have a punchline at the end. But we inherited. My fiance and I inherited. I shouldn't say that. We were given this wine from Rory and Asia. His wife's name is Asia. Rory and Asia's wife. Rory and Asia's his grandmother's wine cellar, and she had this wine that had just been aging down there forever, and it was a New World Cabernet Sauvignon, so it was from California, but it was dated in like 2001. So we thought, okay, it's been aging since 2001. Like, there's a direct line of correlation between how long a wine ages and the quality of it, right? So we popped this thing, we poured it. I kid you not. It looked exactly like this. I kid you not. It looked exactly like this beer right now, and it tasted like Flint, Michigan water.
Oh God!
It was so like sulfuric and it's so bad. It was awful. You know, it was like that mixed with alcohol you would clean a cut with, basically. Like, it was so bad, and luckily we didn't spend money on it. So
luckily.
All
right, I'm gonna take a break here, and we're gonna go to hot takes.
Hot take, okay. All right, hot takes.
You ready for it?
I'm ready for hot take. I think I am.
All right, first one. Steve Vai.
Talented, technical, really above and beyond any level of guitar playing I could imagine to achieve. So I don't know. That's my first. Is that it? Like, do I give like a paragraph? Or,
do you listen to him a whole lot?
So I don't listen to him a whole lot. I do know that when I was in show choir band, I was in show choir band, not show choir, but show choir band, which every other high school calls a jazz band, but we didn't have a brass section, so we were called a show choir ensemble. I was a guitarist in that, and our guitarist or lead guitarist in that band was a huge Steve Vai fan, and he was an absolutely mind-blowing guitar player, incredible guitar player, and so he would show me these Steve Vai records, and I'm sitting there, I'm this 15-year-old kid listening to, it's 2004, so I was listening to like
Sum 41.
Do I even want to admit this on camera? Pop, like some pop punk, but mostly like new metal stuff, like System of a Down and POD and Slipknot and stuff like that.
Oh, dude, my fans will love that shit. Don't worry.
Oh, cool.
Okay. They're always asking me to fucking review that shit.
I could really reminisce on the Slipknot days and the System days and all that stuff too, because like I think that music has aged actually better than some people would think.
System of a Down and Slipknot has definitely aged better than most other bands from that era.
So, real quick aside here.
Okay.
Slipknot killed nu metal for me. They were the last nu metal band, whatever the hell that means, that I got into. And the reason is because that first Slipknot album, the self-titled one, after I heard it when I was probably 14 years old, after my friend gave me a burnt CD of it, everything else in the nu metal category, from like Disturbed to Godsmack to Papa Roach, whatever, all of it sounded tame. All of it sounded weak and sounded whatever, because that record was so ferociously heavy, and it was just pure anger from start to finish, just pure anger, and it blasted out of the speakers in a way that like I'd never heard anything like it. And so from that moment on, I was completely less interested in anything else anything else metal that didn't really live up to that kind of heaviness. And
can I introduce you to Dillinger Escape Plan?
Oh, I've seen Dillinger Escape Plan. I have seen Dillinger Escape Plan, I'll have you know. But that's more of in like a mind-blowing technical kind of where the hell is this song going sort of way. Slipknot,
that's like a skull fuck you with music.
Every single song on that Slipknot album is in the same key. It's in B flat minor. So,
fair enough, yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, that was an aside.
All right, next one. Downtown Nashville.
Woo!
I'm getting married.
Yeah.
I'm getting married, so my buff getting married.
This is more like,
oh my god, I am so fucking wasted right now. I need to puke. I need to puke right now.
I will shamefully admit that I've actually done one of those pedal taverns before with a coworker thing, and I was on that pedal tavern, 11 o'clock in the morning, stone cold sober, sitting on that stool thinking, I could fall off this. Like this is high up off the ground. I could hurt myself. Now, what if I was pissed drunk? Like I see why they make you sign a helmet waiver. Like you have offered me a helmet, and I have said, "Fuck you." I like to live dangerously, like
blind and dangerous.
Blind and dangerous, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was on the pedal tavern one time, and it wasn't entirely my choice because my cousins who were visiting town wanted to do it, and I was like,
"Yeah,
you guys sure you want to do this?" They're
yeah.
like, yeah. I'm like, It's really not all it's cracked up to be. You want to talk about a fucking scam?
Yeah.
You pay money to have a bartender sit behind a bar while you pedal his ass around on a giant bike.
Yep.
And he serves you alcohol that you bought and brought yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And he expects a tip for serving you the alcohol that you bought yourself.
Oh, on top of all of that, you piss off people like me who are just trying to get home at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. And you also piss off the entire town of Nashville that actually lives here.
Yeah. And don't think that those things stay exclusively to downtown. No, they go to Midtown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they go all over.
They go to the Gulch. They go all over the place. Yeah.
I would love to see those motherfuckers bike from downtown to the Gulch and they'll just be like, I'm done. I'm done.
You know, the selling point supposedly is that the cardiovascular activity that you do there gets you drunk quicker because it pumps the blood through your veins quicker. You know what else you could do is you could go to a bar and then walk with your 2 feet to another bar.
Truth.
There's no shortage of them in downtown Nashville. So.
You know what else you could do? Mm-hmm. Just not be a dumbass.
Yeah.
All right.
Tis true.
Point taken.
Tis true.
Next hot take. Barbecue.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah. A little bit of inside baseball here. Mike and I get barbecue on the reg.
Tis true. We do.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Had so many great conversations over barbecue, by the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I still absolutely stand by this to this day. The secret to world peace is barbecue.
Yeah.
You get all of these pissed off motherfuckers in front of each other that are like really mad.
Yeah.
Sit them at a table, get them some fucking barbecue. Done.
I just I can just imagine this protest line, this like protest line somewhere maybe on the West Bank, you know, with like Palestinians on one side and the Jews on the other side, and you're just like, listen, I understand. Nobody here has ever had pork.
Now get those motherfuckers brisket.
So
get those motherfuckers.
Just try this.
Yeah,
I have done that. We have discovered world peace. We will bring peace to the Middle East. Just that way,
dude. Legitimately, okay. I think we might need to make this a non-profit.
Yeah, yeah,
dude. All right.
You just don't want to pay taxes.
Fair enough. You know what? There's truth in that.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Mm-hmm. Ireland.
I love Ireland. I adore Ireland, and I visited there with my. Well, when I went to Ireland, I went with a girlfriend, and when I came back from Ireland, I came back with a fiance. But I will say,
so adorable.
We actually got engaged in Scotland.
Oh, all the girls listening to this podcast, can you blow kisses at Mike for how cute he is?
Yeah.
How adorable he is.
I know.
Actually, fuck that. All the guys do that, so it's hilarious. Just troll him.
Hey, dude, I'm down. I don't care. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
He's a progressive young man.
I'm progressive. I don't care about that.
He'll accept kisses blown at him from anyone.
I'm down, man.
His fiance might not like it. But.
Yeah, well, that's true. No, so my fiance is Emily, and we've been together since we were teenagers in high school, so 2008. And so we got engaged at the Sherbrooke Castle Hotel in Glasgow, Scotland, this past April of last year. And now the majority of that trip we spent in Dublin. We spent in Dublin, Ireland. We went to Rock of Cashel. We went to Cork. We went to a handful of other places like that. But we mostly stayed in Dublin. And for anyone who's never been to Dublin, maybe you're listening or watching and you live in Dublin. I don't know. But Dublin is an absolutely amazing city, and I just fell in love with it when I was there. And Glasgow is just an absolutely incredible town too, with just very, very nice people, very authentic people. Glasgow is not a tourist city whatsoever.
That means I need to go there.
That means I would definitely recommend go if you like whiskey, and I know you do. Mm-hmm. You definitely need to go to Glasgow.
Who, me?
You know, it was funny. We were talking to people about going to Scotland, and they said, and everybody said like, "Oh, you're going to Edinburgh? Are you going to Edinburgh? Like, you got to go to Edinburgh while you're there." Everybody said we should go to Edinburgh, except for our friends in Glasgow who were just like, "Oh, oh, look at me! I'm from Edinburgh. Oh." It's like, oh, it's posh. It's like, oh, Edinburgh, you know. So
nice.
if you're watching it from Edinburgh, I've never been to Edinburgh. I can't speak on it, but the people in Glasgow don't like you. I'm just Ireland though is fantastic, and I can't wait to go back. I've never seen the West Coast, never seen Galway, never seen the West Coast or anything. So that's on my next to-do list after I go to France.
Last hot take. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Skrillex.
Sure. I mean, I
think that says it all, honestly.
I've sat at home getting drunk and applying for jobs and printing off my resume when my printer jammed. I thought, like, I could jam to this. It's like it's like, I mean, I listen to it, I'm like, okay, and I like electronic music, by the way. I like down-tempo electronic, FC Kahuna and Massive Attack and Portishead and DJ Shadow and stuff like that. None of that is dubstep or anything. All of that is more like, trip hop and down-tempo chill electronic or whatever. But Skrillex, I mean, that's a style of music that I have no idea how to make. I have no talent in that whatsoever. But I mean, I would think it would take skill to make noises like that and to make sounds like that and to produce things like that. And
I'm not saying it doesn't take skill. I'm not saying that.
We could debate the musicality of it, so to speak.
Not even necessarily going to fully debate that.
Yeah.
Just the ultimate lack of I hate the way that this word has been abused in society, but honestly, the lack of diversity in dubstep.
Yeah.
They're all kind of the same fucking song.
Yeah.
Over and over and over.
Yeah.
And I don't really hate Skrillex. I'm just kind of over it. And like when I first heard Skrillex, I was like, this is interesting. This is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then nothing but that for like a year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So happy dubstep is not really popular anymore.
I was going to say, I haven't thought about Skrillex or even really dubstep for that matter in years. I mean, is that, I guess
it was crazy popular for
big.
Like a year and a half.
Oh, it was really big. It was huge. Yeah.
And I mean, no disrespect to dubstep at all as an art form or anything. Like I can appreciate what they do, but like at the end of the day, there's only so many whomps and like there's only so many of those things I can do before I'm like,
yeah.
So that's another identical track.
I think we were at some show one time. I don't even remember what it was. Something at Exit In where this person, the opener, whoever they were, not anybody well known, but this random opener was doing a DJ set, and he did like the.
Oh God, I hate those.
And he did that, and then he played a Simon and Garfunkel song. It was
amazing.
So hilariously anticlimactic. Like we were just waiting for that drop, and it never came. Like it was so funny.
Bonus hot take.
Yeah,
Simon and Garfunkel.
Amazing. I mean, I think they were Paul Simon in particular is just a top of the line songwriter, and an amazing storyteller, and that's even. I mean, I could go on about Paul Simon, but I mean, the two of them together, just their harmonies are just absolutely incredible, and yeah, I mean, like it would be disingenuous for me to say that Simon and Garfunkel was a huge influence for me growing up necessarily.
Same here.
But when I started really writing songs, I mean, putting down the knockoff Stratocaster that I played in whatever band I was in Cleveland, Tennessee, and actually picked up a acoustic guitar and tried to write songs to appreciate the craftsmanship that went into, writing these songs and sort of, tabbing out the harmonies and all of that. I mean, it still holds up, and I don't think it sounds really all that dated to this day. I think it's just good quality, great songwriting, and
because certain styles of folk are pretty much cemented in that style, it doesn't sound dated in that sense.
Yeah,
it's pretty down to earth, basic stuff, but very pretty. Lots of human element in there. I talked to you guys about the human element with Villery when I reviewed his stuff. Like very much strong human element in Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Lots of dynamic too. I'm a huge proponent of dynamic in music, And that's actually one thing that I find that a decent amount of folk music doesn't jump into as much as they should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They focus a lot more on just being like, here's a musical thing that I can play over and over again, and I'm going to tell a story over top of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not interesting to me.
Yeah.
I want, if you're going to tell me a story, at least let the music assist, you know?
Yeah. For anyone who hasn't heard, one of my favorite songs of all time is by Steve Earle, and it's a lesser known song of his called Billy Austin that was on a record called The Hard Way. And now it has sort of a, I don't know, like sort of a we'll call it like a topical political undertone to it, but it is a song written about a death row convict, and it's told from his perspective. The guy's name, the man's name is Billy Austin, and it is a haunting, beautiful song that by the end of it, you feel like you've gotten to know this death row inmate, and then it's time for him to die, and then it's time for him to actually be executed. And you know, regardless of how you feel about that topic or the death penalty or whatever, it's just a beautiful song. It's a very haunting, incredible song, and I would recommend checking that out just based on what you described right then, because that human element is so present in that song and in Simon &
Can you say the name of it one more time? I don't think I heard it.
It is the song Billy Austin by Steve Earle. So
I think it's a good place to leave it off. Did you have anything you wanted to tell my folks before we roll out of here?
I didn't prepare a speech or anything. I didn't prepare thank you for the Academy, but thank you for having me.
No worries.
Thank you for having me on the podcast.
It was my absolute pleasure.
It's my pleasure to be on it and to drink good whiskey and good beer. And
absolutely.
I am Mike Aurand with Blind Tigers. Please check us out. We obviously appreciate the support.
Mike, where can they find you?
You can find us on blindtigersmusic.bandcamp.com. Our full discography is on there. We are on Spotify. We are on iTunes as well. We have a YouTube page too. Under Blind Tigers, you can look for the visual EP. You know, there's 5 songs that we recorded, 5 videos and 5 songs, and you can find us on Facebook and SoundCloud and Twitter and Instagram. I think we're on all of it actually.
What if they want to get in touch with you?
If they want to get in touch with us, you can hit us up at blindtigersmusic@gmail.com is our email address, or you can message us on Facebook or tweet at us, or hunt me down and tap me on the shoulder and I
would not recommend that last one.
Yeah, actually, please don't do that.
If you do that, I might have to hurt someone.
In retrospect, please don't do that.
You don't want to be the guy that got a black eye from Mike the Music Snob. Just put that out there.
Yeah, and I have actually been in a fight before where I have won, believe it or not. I look like a squirrely liberal guy,
serious.
but yeah, I am serious. It's been
blind and serious.
It's been a while though.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next cast. Rock on.